Hi guys. So I wanted to I wanted to give a brief overview of our syllabus. Most of this should be secondhand to you guys at this point, considering I think we all used the same template across all classes for our syllabi. So this shouldn't really be anything new. I have a few things that are very particular to my class, but otherwise, this should be pretty cut and dry. So this is our syllabus here. You can find my email right here. Email me anytime you need anything, and I will try my best to get back to you ASAP. If you email me at like 8 o'clock at night, I'm probably not going to respond to you until the next morning. But like I said, I will respond ASAP. Here's our Google Classroom code. You probably won't need it for any reason since I invited you all to the Google Classroom, but it's there in case, I don't know, something happens and you need it. So, one thing that I am doing differently this semester versus last semester is that I'm only going to put up our current week of instruction. Rather, like last semester, I like piled it on. So if you kept scrolling down, you'd see all the previous weeks. Instead, I am linking to past weekly assignments here. So this is where you would find the list of like all of the weeks that we have done. So if you're ever behind, if you ever need to go back, you need to click on this link here. So just kind of a quick look at what our week looks like. A couple of things. You'll notice that I've split it into two sections. Cohort A, so my Monday, Tuesday kids, and then cohort B and full remote. I have a very small section of cohort B students. So I felt like asking full remote students to follow the cohort B schedule would be the best. If for some reason you have an issue as a full remote student following the cohort B schedule, please send me an email and we'll figure something out. But I felt like it would be a service to my cohort B kids who, there are a few that I don't think have anyone else in class in person with them. So I felt like, I wanted to give them some more peers to work with. And so this is our schedule. This is how this is going to go. For now, we're still remote on Wednesdays. That's subject to change in the near future. But in order to most Wednesdays, it's really a remote. It's a catch-up day. You can use it to start any remote work. You can use it to finish anything that we've done previously. If we do move to in-person on Wednesdays, it's probably going to still be kind of a independent catch-up day. Just you would have me in person at your disposal versus online. But for now, we are still remote, so I'm going to link to a You Can Book Me page, and it's pretty cut and dry. You click on it, it'll it'll give you like a list of the times that I'm available on Wednesdays. Click on a time to set up an appointment. It's gonna ask you probably like for your name and your email, and I think I asked just for you guys to quickly describe like why you're setting up this appointment, just so I know in advance. Try to, I would say try to sign up like before Wednesday, but you can sign up Wednesday morning too, and that's perfectly fine. It's possible that all the times are going to be taken. If they are, shoot me an email. It's highly likely that I can meet another time, or we can figure it out via email. But I'm always, I will try my best to meet your needs on that day. If there's ever an issue with finding a time to meet. So, my cohort A kids, you guys are kicking off this week looking at a TED Talk called The Danger of a Single Story. And your homework is to watch this video and take the syllabus quiz. My cohort B and full remote students, you are going to start off this week just watching this video, taking the quiz, and signing up and this is also for Cohort A homework, signing up for a couple of different websites that we'll be using frequently, which is Padlet and Edgeflow, and video instructions and links are all going to be up there for you guys. If you have any problems with it, let me know, but it should be pretty easy to get up there. Moving down the line, I'm not, my goal, I decided to go back to asynchronous. I moved my classes to synchronous last semester, and kids really struggled with it. And so my hope for this semester was to keep your remote work focused on reading, and our in-class times focused on really breaking down that reading. And so what it means for you is that you really need to be diligent and actually sit down and read. Take, our class time that day and just do that, so that we can, go into more interesting discussions and things on our in-person days. So please, 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 you really need to make sure that you're doing that and you're doing the reading. And then it kind of cuts down a little bit on homework on our in-person days, which I think will ease some of the stress. And you guys aren't getting like something new every single day to do. That I think built up a lot of stress in my students last semester. So I'm trying to even that out a little bit. It's, always subject to change, but right now this is my hope, is that your remote days will be mainly focused on reading, unless we're doing like a project or an essay, and then you'll probably have time during remote days to work on that as well. But that's really my hope for this this year. I already mentioned, click here for past weekly assignments. Materials needed, a charged laptop. Until you guys get your new laptops, I don't have any extra charging cords for you, so please make sure if you're hybrid and in person that your laptops are nice and charged up, or that you bring your charging cord with you. I know you've been told for years to not do that, but be responsible. Make sure you take it with you at the end of the period, because you can't do anything if you don't have a charged laptop, especially this year. So be mindful of that. Headphones, I'd like headphones that connect to your laptop, not the ones that connect to your iPhone. Just, in case we ever need to listen to, if you guys need to go back and listen to videos and stuff on your own, you're not trying to listen to it with everybody else. Pens and pencils, obviously. Highlighters and colored pens, those are optional. They're highly recommended, just, for your own sake. And then a small binder or folder. I'm thinking like folder is good. There will be some handouts. They will be minimal, but there will be some. And it's better to have just like a small folder for everything than to have them flying all over the place in your backpack, because half the time kids can't find anything that way. So just like a folder would be great. Anything that you can't get access to, please just let me know and I will do my best to provide it for you. Academic integrity, plagiarism, and cheating. This should be secondhand to you guys. This should be no different than anything you have seen in the past. Right? Plagiarism is intentionally or unintentionally using or stealing another person's ideas, concepts, yada, 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 without in-text documentation or a works cited page. When in doubt, cite your sources. That's really, the lesson learned on this. Cheating, copying another student's work as your own, using your phone or laptop, yada, yada. Please do not, it's really obvious if you guys share papers and then try to write an essay based off of someone's paper. Doesn't matter how much you think you've changed it, it's still very obvious. Do not do that. That is both cheating and plagiarism. All right. Don't plagiarize, guys. Put in your own work. First offense, it's not worth it. Your first offense has all of this stuff. you have to have a teacher, you have to have a meeting with me and your vice principal, your administrator. Your parents are going to be notified. Your other teachers are going to be notified. There's a notation that's placed in your PowerSchool file. You get a 50 on the assignment. You can redo it, but it's going to be averaged with the 50, so it's going to be a lot lower. And if you choose not to redo the work, it's a 50. You do it again, everything else, it happens again. All 1 through 4 gets done again, and then you can't make that up. So don't cheat. Don't plagiarize. When in doubt, cite your sources, right? If you're ever like, oh my God, I don't know, cite your sources and talk to me about it, okay? Before you turn it in. You really gotta be careful. When you go to college, you can get kicked out for plagiarism, like completely, just like you're done. It's not good. Student expectations at this point, you guys should all know our COVID school-wide SOPs. If you happen to be new, follow this link and you can take a look there. So for full remote learners, my cohort C children, I'm going to ask that you follow the cohort B assignment and deadline schedule. Again, if you have problems with this, shoot me an email and we'll work it out. You are expected to Zoom into your scheduled class period on cohort B days, so that's Thursday, Friday. Unless otherwise notified, there might be like work days where I'll be like, it's not mandatory, but like if you need me, I'll be on Zoom. If you cannot make a synchronous class, you need to notify me ASAP. Like ASAP. All assignments are due by 7:50 a.m. the following morning or the next day of class, and that includes remote days, unless otherwise instructed. So like obviously if I give you an assignment on a Friday, it's not going to be due until 7:50 Monday morning, not like Saturday morning. That would be awful. All work must be completed in Google Classroom. You need to use Google Docs, slides, or sheets. I will not accept assignments that are in PDF pages or Keynote format. I'm dead serious. It'll be a 50. You need to use Google Docs. Obviously, unless you're using some kind of other website. But for my hybrid students, you'll follow your specific cohort assignment and deadline schedule. If you are absent, so like let's say you're a close contact and you're quarantined, you're expected to Zoom in to your scheduled class time, like your in-person scheduled class time. If you cannot attend, you need to notify me. If you are absent because you need to go to the doctors or like you're on your deathbed, you need to just communicate it with me, just so that I'm not like docking points from your habits of work for missing a meeting or marking you remote absent. You need to just, if you have a valid excuse, you need to communicate that with me. Same as my full remote. Everything must be done in Google Docs slide sheets. Additional expectations for all students. You are required to read teacher-assigned text and independent text both inside and outside of class. You're required to write and read both inside and outside of class. You will be expected to interact with all peers both in person and remotely, as well as across cohorts. Students are expected to stay on task and turn in any work by the deadline in order to keep up with the workload. This is pertinent. You really need to pay attention to deadlines. I don't care that there isn't late points being taken off. If you miss a deadline, you're going to fall behind, and it's going to be really difficult to catch up. All right. You are expected to communicate any issues with me to develop a plan of action for any late work. So you need to let me know. If you're not going to hit a deadline, you need to shoot me an email and let me know, just so that I'm aware of where you're at. Don't just not turn it in and then all of a sudden fall off the face of the earth. I want to help you as much as you can keep up with the class and the workload, and I can't do that if you're not communicating with me. I'm pretty reasonable and pretty flexible, so you need to, but I'm not those things if you don't, give me a heads up and communicate with me. Remote work should be a minimum of 2 hours per week, maximum of 4 hours per class. You guys, this isn't a college or AP, so we can skip that. All of our grading. This has been in place for a couple of years now. If you don't, you can go take a look through it on your own time. I'm not going to go through it. Late penalties this year. if you do not complete the week's assignments by the due date, I will contact you to make up a plan to get caught up. Your parents are going to be contacted if you fail a summative or if there is a concern about a pattern of incomplete assignments. So do know that I will be in contact with your parents if you're not turning stuff in, or guardians. If a student has not completed week's assignment by due date, then you need to come into flex. I don't care if you have early release, you're there, and neither does administration. So if I request you for flex, you are expected to be there. Know that any late work while we're not taking off late points is going to impact your habits of work grade. So just be mindful of that. And obviously any late assignments will be posted as missing in PowerSchool until you turn it in. Habits of work grades, relatively similar to last year's, and I'm sure this is the same rubric that most classes have used this year thus far. Guys, student responsibility is like, this is not something to blow off. This is what you are going to be expected when you go out into the real world. That you are arriving on time, right? And you're ready and you're prepared, right? You're not going to show up to work without anything 2 hours late. You'll be fired. Okay, it's the same here. There's going to be consequences. You need to make sure you're completing assignments on time. In the real world, there are deadlines. You need to meet them. If you're unable to attend a virtual meeting, you need to let me know. You're engaging in classroom and remote activities. You're participating in classroom discussions as well as online discussions. You're committing to continuous growth through reflective revision. You are demonstrating perseverance and positivity through challenges. If you just stop doing everything because you're overwhelmed and you don't reach out to me, that's not demonstrating perseverance and positivity. If you're getting overwhelmed, if something has happened and it's keeping you from being caught up, you need to talk to me. Like I said, I can be flexible and I can, help you out, but I can't do that if you're not communicating it with me. And it's not going to help anyone if you just stop doing the work altogether. All right. So you need to, be aware of that. And then interactions with peers and teachers. Demonstrate respect to others in all learning settings. You're sharing responsibility during collaborative tasks. You're providing constructive feedback and support to other students, and you're following all classroom and school SOPs. And there's, your grading scale. And that's it. So, if you have any questions about anything, just shoot me an email.